Hi, my friends. I'm in my classroom today, and I just got done working with some students on number sense and specifically place value. And I kind of do a social story to start it all off with bankers counting other people's money and keeping ledgers that have to be really accurate. And so it's important to understand how much money you have is exactly what you record. So we became bean counters and did an activity where we counted beans and kept a ledger. This is the little graphic organizer that I created, and it'll be in the store, of course, but you can make your own. And we used pinto beans. So I have a jar of beans. And it starts off, I ask everybody to add one bean to their sheet. So they add one bean, and we go till we get to 9, and then I explain there's no room for the 10th bean because we can't ever write two numbers in our ones column. You can only have 0 through 9 in any one column. So we get our little portion cups, we add the 10th bean into the portion cup, and then we move everybody else over, and we put our 1 cup in our tens column. So now on the ledger, we're not going to record in the ones column anymore because we've already written now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to record that we have one group of 10 and 0 ones. And then we're going to go forward again. Now, if I add another bean, where would I put it? 30% of the kids are going to try to put it in the cup. So we have to stop and say, no, we said that cup was 10. It's worth one group of 10. If I put one in there, is it still 10? No, it's an 11. And then I go on to another paper, so kind of distract them away from the graphic organizer and ask them, write the number 11. What's it look like? And they write it. And I said, so if we know 10 looks like 1, 0, and you want another bean, and we know the next number is 11, and it looks like 1, 1, where should you put the bean? So then they kind of understand, oh, I'm going to leave my one group of 10 alone, and I'm going to add the bean in my ones column. And we just do that. We add a bean, record your number on your ledger. Add a bean, record a number on your ledger. When they get down to about 50, I have to tape on a new sheet so the string gets really long. And we do this until we get to 250. I like to split it up between 2 days. And some kids, that's going to take longer than other kids. But I want to split it up between 2 days because we all know that when kids go to sleep, sometimes they forgot everything they did before. So if you counted to 250 all in one day, the next day you might not have the retention that you expect that you need before you move on. So I split it apart into 2 days. So yesterday the girls were introduced to the concept, and they both got to different places, but into the hundreds. And we made that big leap of putting 10 tens into a hundreds cup and then setting our hundreds cup on the organizer, which is, a big leap. But the manipulatives, having the actual items and having them organized into bundles of 10 really does help them. And when we got to the 100 and we talked about how are we going to record this on our ledger, now I have 100 cup, I have 0 10 cups, I have 0 ones. And then on the third day of this lesson, you're going to talk about, if I have 100 cups, do I have any groups of 10? And that will help them understand, yeah, I have 10 groups of 10. That's why it's called 100. So I'll go into that on a different lesson. But for the bean counting for the lesson, you want to count to 100 something the first day. You want to get up to 250 the second day. Then before they go home today, we're going to go back to their 250 list. I'm going to set up their graphic organizers to have a value of 200s cup, 5 10 cups, and 0 1 cups. And I'm going to ask them, what do we need to do if I want to take one bean out? And I'm going to let that cognitive dissonance kind of sit with them. Well, I only want one. And if I take one out of a 10 cup, then it's not a 10 cup anymore. So how would that work? I can't lie. Bankers can't lie about their money. So can I leave that 10 cup over there if I took one out of it? And I want them to make the leap, and sometimes I really have to connect the dots and almost do it for them. I can model it with an algorithm on a whiteboard, but I want them to understand, if I'm taking one out of that 10 cup, it's not a 10 anymore. So I'm going to dump it back into my ones pile. And so today we're going to count backwards a little while. I'm only want to take them about 15 minutes this afternoon. So we're going to count backwards for about 15 minutes. and then I'm going to see them again tomorrow. Wherever they were at, we're going to count back up to 250, adding. So reinforcing how do we add and how do we bundle and how do we move over. And then we're going to start subtracting again one at a time. And my hope is by the fourth day of lesson, they've counted up to 250 at least one time and counted backwards from 250 one time. So they really understand that borrowing, and it really addresses that borrowing across the zero. If I don't have any tens groups, but I need to take one more out, what do I have to do? And so we're going to go through that metacognition of, well, now I'm going to have to borrow from hundreds. So now I'm not going to have a big yellow 100 cup anymore. I'm going to have to take all those out and put them in the tens. And then out of that 110, I'm going to take it all out. So if you're working at home to teach place value, or you're a new teacher and you're not quite sure what to do with students who aren't getting it, the bean counting lesson really, really does build a deep understanding of place value and grouping and borrowing and adding. I'm not going to pretend that I invented this. I got it from a teacher, Pamela Earhart, who is lucky enough to retire with her partner and is living the good life now. But she was an amazing teacher and dedicated a lot of time to kids. So this is her lesson. I interpreted it a little bit different in that I used cups and she used straws and bundles. But it's a great lesson. I hope it helps you teach place value and number sense to your students. Have a great day. That was fun. I think I like recording in my classroom. This is going to be good. And my new song. Did you hear my new song?